if I told you that your imagination could change your entire life, would you believe me? Most people won't, because imagination sounds childish, right? Just daydreaming. But what if I told you that imagination is the very spark that builds empires, heals broken lives, and creates miracles? Let me tell you a story. There was a boy named Sam. He grew up in a forgotten corner of the city where dreams usually died before they were born. His father had left, leaving behind only silence and unpaid bills. His mother worked 2 jobs, cleaning houses in the day and sewing clothes at night. Sam's clothes were torn, his shoes had holes, and sometimes his dinner was nothing more than a piece of bread with water. At school, other kids laughed at him, pointing at his old bag and saying, "Look at him, the boy who will never become anything." But Sam had something they couldn't see. When the world shut its doors on him, he opened the door to his mind. And inside his mind, there was no poverty, no hunger, no broken home. Inside his mind, he was a hero. Every night, lying on a thin mattress, Sam closed his eyes and built castles. He imagined himself standing on stages, people clapping for him, his mother sitting in the front row with pride on her face. When the rain leaked through the roof, he imagined living in a beautiful house. When bullies pushed him down, he imagined standing tall as a leader. When he had no food, he imagined feasts, not because he was hungry, but because imagination was his fuel. His mother once asked him, "Sam, why do you stare at the ceiling for hours?" And Sam replied softly, "Because, Mom, I see a future up there that nobody else can see." But imagination alone wasn't enough. Life demanded more. Sam started working at a small shop after school. He cleaned tables, carried heavy boxes, and earned just enough to buy books. Every coin he saved wasn't for games or fun. It was for building the future he saw in his mind. His classmates laughed at him. "You, a businessman, a leader, you can't even buy lunch." But Sam didn't argue. He smiled, because while they were laughing, he was imagining, and while they were wasting time, he was working. Years passed. Sam graduated not with top marks, but with something more powerful: a vision. He started small, very small. He sold handmade crafts online. He failed many times. Orders got cancelled, customers rejected his work, and sometimes he had nothing left in his pocket. One cold night, sitting alone, he almost gave up. He looked at his mother's tired hands and thought, "Maybe they were right. Maybe I am just a poor boy, destined to stay poor." But then he remembered those nights on the mattress, those castles in the ceiling, that stage, that applause, that promise to his mother. And he whispered to himself, "No, this is not the end. My imagination is stronger than my reality." Step by step, failure by failure, he kept moving. He worked in the day, studied business at night, and invested every penny he earned into his dreams. His imagination gave him the strength to endure hunger, rejection, and sleepless nights. Slowly, his small online business grew. He learned marketing, built connections, and created something people wanted. From selling a single item a week to hundreds a day. From struggling to pay for books to finally paying off his mother's debts. One day, he bought his mother a new house, the very house he had once imagined. When she stepped inside, tears rolled down her cheeks and she whispered, "Sam, this is the home I saw in your eyes when you were a child." Years later, Sam stood on a stage. Thousands of people filled the hall. The boy who was once called the child who would never be anything was now a man everyone looked up to. He looked into the crowd, found his mother in the front row, and with tears in his eyes, he said, "Everything you see here was once just a picture in my imagination. The only reason I am standing here is because I refuse to stop dreaming." The crowd rose in applause. His mother cried, not from sadness, but from the joy of knowing her son had turned imagination into reality. Sam's story is not just about him. It's about you, about every single person who feels trapped, broken, or invisible. The truth is, Your circumstances don't define you. Your imagination does. Albert Einstein once said, "Imagination is more important than knowledge, because knowledge tells you what already exists, but imagination, it shows you what's possible." Your dreams may look impossible right now. People may laugh at you, doubt you, even abandon you. But if you can see it in your mind, if you can imagine it with enough faith, and if you work for it with all your heart, one day it will no longer be imagination. It will be your life. So tonight, when the world sleeps, don't just close your eyes. Imagine. Dream. Build a world inside your mind so powerful that one day, reality will have no choice but to follow. Because that is the power of imagination.